Hi everyone, happy Saturday. I have a number of books to show you, and BMO is exiting. She's hoping for treats, but she just got she got her wet food and some dry food this morning. So girlfriend has had enough, though for her it will never be enough. Anyway, I was kind of quiet last weekend. I was just exhausted. I don't know, just slept a lot. I think it's this changing of the seasons here. Like we're slowly creeping into fall, and if you've been around, my chronic illness, my fibro, my various things get flared up when the seasons change in particular, and I don't know why. It's just when there's a huge drop in barometric pressure or temperature or humidity or a big creep up one way or the other. I just it almost feels like my brain's inflamed when it gets bad enough. And like I was having some problems with that last weekend where it felt like my head was hot. Ibuprofen was not helping. And I felt like I was just going to jump out of my skin like all weekend. And it doesn't happen very often, but it usually happens during seasonal changes. So I just kind of took a break from everything. However, very busy this weekend, at least coloring wise, because we've got a lot going on. I got a little caught up in Halloween. Um, I did pretty good last year and stayed strong with the cute and cozy type of books, even though there were a bunch of Halloween ones. This year, I didn't do as good a job. Uh, so what we're going to do is flip through the first three books that I ordered off Amazon. I'm showing three here, but I actually have four digital books that I downloaded. I had printed two of them. They ran out of ink, so I've got to wait on some ink for the other two. But we are going to flip through those on my computer. Like we're going to flip through the PDF, which is probably going to be easier than me awkwardly trying to flip all these pages anyway. So, um, but yes, it is all spooky Halloween. This whole set of books. I did at least try to get some artists that were new to me. A couple of them are new to me, and a couple of them are ones that I don't have very many books from. And then a couple classics that I was looking forward to. And yes, I am still adopting the one book in, one book out rule. So this will be 7 books I've got to get rid of. So um, still sticking to that. I'm at least going to do that. So all right, let me. I'm really hoping October can be a good coloring month. All right, new release from Alexandra Franzese. I had gotten, I could sit here and talk about it, rant about it, but we've had the same mail carrier for years, and I guess because of, well, everything going on with like government type jobs, it is difficult, I guess, to find mail carriers around here. So they've added some new people in, and I guess this was an easy route. So they probably put our seasoned guy on like the difficult country road routes. But our setup is weird because our mailbox is not on the road that our street address is. It's been like that for years at this point. I don't even know. I think it's got to be on the same road your driveway is. It's very confusing. This is what happens with living on a corner lot, I guess, first world problems. But our mailbox, if somebody's not, we have numbers everywhere. Like we need a big neon sign in the yard, like a sign and lights saying like our number so they get it. But they always want to deliver across the street to one of the duplexes over there. And we were having trouble finding all our packages the day this was supposed to be delivered. And then when we found all of them, we were still missing this. It showed up 2 days later, just soaking wet because, of course, it rained. So it dried out. It's probably okay, but I'm not I'm not gonna the paper's probably already fragile where it's gotten wet because that's how Amazon paper works. So I ordered another copy and here we are. That was a very long story. If you have seen her other Kawaii book that she has out, she published that a few years back. And this is kind of a similar setup, but in the square form. I like her little minis here. She does make coloring stickers, so you can get them, color them, and then use them like regular stickers. And my problem is I don't know what to do with stickers. I love stickers, don't get me wrong, but with pins I have somewhere to put them. I don't really have a lot of places to put stickers to actually see them, you know? So if anybody has any ideas what they like to do with all their stickers they get, please let me know. So they are lightly shaded. Oh, I love the little pirate. Little dinosaurs all in their costumes. The one thing I will say, my only, and this is, just me, my only issue with this book is I would almost rather, hang on, let me see if I can find it easily. Probably not. I was trying to find her other Kawaii book. Maybe in the grand scheme of things it doesn't really make that much a difference. Let's compare. Oh, no, it does. So like this is the only critique I have on this so far. I love the pictures, love her style. Y'all know she's one of my favorite artists. The only critique I have is that these some of them feel a little busy for this small of a book. One of the things with the smaller square books is that oftentimes I prefer those to be less detailed because I like using markers and like stuff that takes up a lot of space. Like sometimes I want room to work. I don't do well with like super tiny detail areas. And these aren't too bad, don't get me wrong. I just wish I had a little more room for some of these. Like a standard 8.5 by 11 gives you a lot more room. You know, the pictures themselves are a lot bigger. So like that's this page though, perfect for this type of book. I think it's the ones like these where I'm like, this feels like a really tight space for me. The good news is, however, if I did want to use pencils in here, it's not like I have a lot of page to cover. Oh my gosh, she's got her Spooky Portraits book that I have as well. This is going to be, let me tell you, this is why I say Halloween usually goes through November for me, if not through the rest of the year. Usually by the end of November I've had my fill, but it's my favorite time to color. Autumn's my favorite season. Halloween's my favorite occasion to color. And so I have to give at least 2 months to it. I haven't had time in September, which is usually the case year after year. So it will probably be October, November. Though this one could be Christmassy. So this would be a good one for December. I actually finished, I had a coloring project book last year that I was going to finish, an Alexandra Franzese book with a friend at the time. And we actually finished it together. And it was, I think, the Easy Halloween book that she had last year. Simple Halloween, excuse me. I always want to say easy. And I finished that last year. And I was super proud of that because that was my first Alexandra Franzese book I finished. And it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to have a similar project book this year. It's not going to be this one because there's a lot more details in here. But I am definitely hoping, hoping to do a page or two in here. You know, this might be a good one to do. Like, this would be a good one for birthday month. That could be like summer. Might be a good book to consider for like a year-long project. Yeah, I know. I need another project. Like, I don't need another project. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's Spooky Kawaii. Very cute. All right, new to me, Steph Mortimer from Sunray Books. I've been a little hesitant to buy from books that don't have artists. I say that and then I just bought, a bunch of books. But I've been trying to back off of that for a while and just stick to artists that I know that are like independent publishers or books from people that I know are actual artists like Whirly Art Studios. She posts all the time on Instagram like where she draws her images. But I follow Sunray Books and Steph Mortimer on Instagram, and I've seen her working, and I've seen her, I feel fairly confident that, like, she's the actual artist and she's doing these books. Hang on, there we go. That's a little better. Anyway, she has really cute books. This is going to be a theme for the day. And this one, I believe, has a little cat buddy. Okay, he's not in every picture, but he's in a lot of these pictures. And y'all know part of my problem with this was cats. See, they all got wind of it. I said I can do pretty good staying away from cute and cozy stuff until they start doing stuff with cats. And you will see why I say that, because I have a weak spot, of course. Anyway, this is Cute and Spooky Cozy Buddies by Steph Mortimer. Mortimer? I had that right. My first Sunray Books book. And I have gotten to the point I almost want to buy these on, and this is the reason I have the other ones on digital. I almost want to buy them on digital because the Amazon paper just keeps getting thinner and thinner. And I like doing, and I know there are people all over social media that do all kinds of textures and blending with markers on Amazon paper. But to me, the longer we go over the years, the more it bleeds, the more it is troublesome when I'm trying to do anything with marker that isn't just coloring and a little bit of shading. And so I've started switching to digital and printing it out on cardstock so that I have a little more ability to blend, use watercolor. I can play around with some of the pattern ideas that are out there. But this one, I don't believe she has Etsy or like digital versions. These are adorable though. They're little buddies and it's so cute. I love that. Y'all knew as soon as there was a little cat in here. Anyway, and I really liked that one. That was one of my favorite pictures that I had seen. This would be a good, like I was trying to complete a book in a month, though I don't know, there's probably more than 30 pictures in here. Because, these images, you can make them complex, but you can also keep them fairly simple. So, I don't color, oh, that's cool. I don't usually color a lot of random objects. This would be a good page to practice, like markers and different stuff on with the leaves. And of course, I loved that page that was on the front. And I like it has, you know, not just solely Halloween type pictures, but like slice of life, fall pictures. That one's cute. And I like the little mix up of some of the different images. This one I thought was really cute. He doesn't look happy about the rain. I just thought it was cute. I thought I'd give Sunray Books or Steph Mortimer her chance on them. And I may not be, you know, again, this being the exception. I'm going to try not to buy as many cute and cozy books. However, if I was going to buy them, it's one of those things where I'm trying not to buy too many of these, but if I'm going to buy them, it's going to be Halloween or cat related. Like, and it just, they all hit the right buttons this time of year. All right. I'm going to try another project book this year. Couple things in October that I'm doing is, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you a heads up. I'll have 2 more pages for my Deborah Muller Halloween All Year Long. It's appropriate for October. I'll have a couple more pages for that. I would do 3, but I think we've all got enough other stuff to color that we're just going to keep it lean. There's also Cattober, which I've been running for a number of years. I used to run it with John, who was the bibliophile colorist, who sadly passed away it's probably been a few years now. But Cattober's coming up, and just all cats all month long. And then last year I did the book completion. I tried the previous year and I only made it halfway through the month. But I was successful last year, and we're going to try again this year. And this is the book. Spicy Cat Colors in her Spicy Cat Buddies tag. I think this is the book they're doing this month, and they're also trying to complete it. So I will put that information in the description, and then probably also in my plans video. That will be on Monday. My complete pages and plans will be Monday. So excited about this. Probably should go ahead and start doodling on this title page and the nameplate page. Just to go ahead. Oh, okay, cute. So you can color the leaves in for the whole month. I like that. I really like that. That's a cute little tracker. And so the name of the game here is that the images are simpler images. Like that you could take, you know, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You could do pencil and shading and spend hours on it every day, but it it's it is drawn for those of us, you know, so that everybody can participate basically. Which is good, because when I inevitably get behind and need to catch up a couple days, these are where I can color them, wait a little while for the marker to dry, and then pick up another page. So oh, the little tail's the 9. So cute. I have to look at this as 31 days in October, because otherwise it going from 1 to 31 drives me, like, I'm like, it's counting down, right? Like, so you should start with 31 and go backwards, right? Like, but I think everybody else is doing front to back. So one thing I don't like when you number them, because in my head, it should be 31 to 1. But I guess on an advent calendar, you do day 1, day 2, day 3. So still messes with my brain. But I have to look at it. I like that one. I have to look at it as this is the day in October. I think last year it's what I did. I wrote 31 and then counted it down. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And this will be great because I've wanted to complete a Kameliya Angelkova book, and it is extremely difficult because I have so many. She usually puts 50 images in each book, which is a great bargain, and I appreciate she does that, but it's hard. I'll stick with one for a while and then I get distracted by another one and it just doesn't happen. So this was designed to be done the month of October, and like I said, this would give me a completed, and that's the reason I picked her book, was because I really want to be able to finish one of her books as well. So, super excited about that. Now, let me switch to my desktop, my computer, and we will scroll through the four. They're all cozy coloring. I have 3 by Colored Caramel and 1 by Tiny Daisy, which apparently I put in here upside down. Um, we'll switch over to that. All right, so I went a little overboard buying some digital books. Talked about it a little bit in the first half of this flip through, but the Amazon paper's kind of starting to, especially with these smaller pages, it's getting really hard to use markers without it bleeding. Especially when you want to blend and do some different things with them. So I'm slowly switching to probably buying more digital books. Some artists I like just publish exclusively on Amazon, and that's completely fine. And also like this, I don't know if this is necessarily a boycott, but this is kind of like, hey, if Amazon would just give better paper, of course, then they would make the artists up the price of their books. But anyway, I digress. I have 4, yes, 4 cute and cozy type books that I purchased. Excuse me, it was 5 if you counted, or 6, I guess, if you counted the ones I flipped through. Digital books, I bought 4, and I went kind of crazy. Colored Caramel had a deal where if I bought one on their Etsy site, I got the other one at like a discounted price. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of cats, and I figured instead of showing you the printed out versions of them, plus I ran out of ink and I have to wait to print 2 of them, instead of showing you the printed versions where it's kind of awkward to flip through, I figured this would be the easiest way to show you, and I can also show you what the covers look like and talk about some of the deals I came across. So the first one is from Tiny Daisy. Tiny Daisy's new to me. This is the first book I think I have from them, and it is cat. It is cat and Halloween, which is my weakness. It's my kryptonite. We know this. Anyway, I ended up picking this up. They have an Amazon book. They have a website. This is what the full color cover looks like. And Tiny Daisy does have their own site. There is a deal on the Amazon book where actually you don't get a lot of information here, but let me share with you the Instagram post I saw. If you buy that book on Amazon and you snap a pic or a clip of the book and then direct message them on Instagram, they'll actually provide 2 full digital books, which is Comfy Pattern Volume 2 and Girl Stuffs. Um, this is only available for 15 days, and that was 2 days ago. So there's 13 days left on this deal. Just, I know, like you need extra incentive for this stuff. But let me flip through the book so you can see what it looks like. Their digital version is on Gumroad. It's not Etsy, but I will have the links in the description so you can find it. All right. Now I've said all that. The one thing I will say about these little cute and cozy books is that they really do pack a lot of pictures into these books. Even if you are buying like the $10 or $11 Amazon book, when I'm going to print these out, we're talking 40, 45 pages, like the coloring checklist there. We're talking a lot of pages that they provide. So they really do provide, I feel like, a good value. It's not just the old 20 something pages per book coloring book seems to be happening less and less. So cute. I'm sorry, let me scroll back up here. He's sucking on a little pacifier with a little bone. Like, that's really cute. Oh, he's in the luggage. Okay, very cute. Oh no, the cats are for sale? That's terrible. I don't know about that. Anyway, very cute. I like this very much. It's a little bit creepy, but not super scary creepy. And it's just cute stuff. And it's all cats. Little fat cats. So cute. I like where he's playing chess with him. And the cool thing is, like, I mean, I know in any book you get, you can color cats any color you want. You can color them fantasy colors, but oftentimes in books like Leon's Journey or books where it's like an actual cat in their natural environment, I tend to not want to color that. I want to color them more like natural colors. But this is the type of book I could color them any color I want. This is really cute. I'm telling y'all, my biggest problem is going to be having time to color in these. And I'm going to try to do at least one page. I love he's putting the SPF on that cat. The sunscreen. It's cute. They really did this year. They got me with the cats big time. So cute. Oh my gosh, I really love these pictures. I'd gotten the Spooky Cats one from Colored Caramel, and I was like, okay, I got my cats one. But then Tammy sent me a link from Tammy Colors 2 sent me a link on this one, and I was like, oh. So now I'm enabling everyone else. Ha ha ha. And these have, like, they're not super flat pictures. You can definitely add in some elements, but they're also still fairly simple images. Like, I like the mix and the how these were drawn. Some of the books I have that are really cute, like, I still like them, but they have a lot of open space, which, you know, you can. I've got to be okay with coloring that and not feeling like I got to add in patterns and a bunch of stuff. Um, but like this one actually, I feel like has a little more balance in that I could straight color this page, maybe add in a little bit of shading and blending, and like it doesn't feel as empty, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Some of them, they feel a little empty when I do that because there's so much white space. like I said, these are ones where I might add like a little fun wallpaper pattern, or I might do one or two things to add a little boost to some of these, like put a big moon back here or something. But I don't feel like I have to add a ton of elements to give interest. Some of the pages that have a lot of white space seem to be designed so you can add in more stuff, which is perfectly fine, or you can color them, and not add in any elements. I can say with a fair amount of confidence, I've stayed away from the cute and cozy, but like this will probably be the most you see from me advertising cute, unless they come out with like Christmas cats or something. I can't make that promise, and that's another reason I kind of tried to hold these till the end. So like if you just don't have any interest in these, then no big deal. You can easily bounce, and that's why I put timestamps in the description so that you can easily choose which ones you want to watch. So, because not everybody likes the cute and cozy books, and I know like they can be kind of controversial. I feel like there are way too many of them, but I also see the benefit of them, and I love anything that gets people to color, as long as artists are, you know, again, publishing companies. I have my that's talk for another day, but um, I feel like they have a place, and that's fine. All right, here's my other cats one. This was the original cats one I bought, um, which was colored caramel. I only have a couple of their books. I actually haven't bought anything from them in a while, and then I saw this one, and I couldn't resist. And this was the original one I was going to buy. Then on Etsy, now I don't know if it will do this for everybody, but on Etsy it gave me a deal when I purchased the digital version. It was like, if you buy this and the Spooky Dreams, will knock off like 20% on them. And I was like, okay, sure. They do have some like scribble spaces where you can like play around with patterns or play around with blends. When I print them out, I don't need these pages, so I just start with the actual pictures. So spooky cats, like a whole bunch of ghost cats and cats doing Halloween stuff. Love this. Hi, BMO. Oh my gosh, y'all. I wish I had my camera on right now. She's brought her little wand toy in here and she has dragged it up on this desk because I'm not paying attention to her and she really wants me to look at it. All right, give me a second. Good job. Good job. Yeah, good hunter. I don't have any treats right now. You're going to have to wait. Yeah, good job. That's my good hunter. I have to be quiet. Winry can't hear me call another cat a good hunter. She heard me call BMO that the other night, and she waited and started chasing her around the house. Yes, my 19 and a half year old cat chases the 3-year old cat around the house. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Brief pet break. I feel like this one has a lot of unique ideas and plays too. Like, I love this little box with like the mama cat and all the little kittens. It's like they've opened the box and they came and they were shipped in. Like I said, when the cute and cozy trend started, I know I said on some of these flip throughs, I said if they start featuring mostly cats, like, or autumn Halloween stuff, that's really going to be my downfall. And somebody got the memo. And again, like, there are just a ton of pictures in these books, especially the digital version. If you can pick it up for $5 or $6 and get like, I'm just showing you, like, don't be like me. Don't get all these unless, isn't that pretty? I love that. That would have been so good for Space Timber. Um, I'm certainly not. Are those flames? Oh my gosh, that is too funny. I love that picture. I'm certainly not saying please go out and buy all these books. I think this is a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing where I'm like, I'm showing you these books and I'm saying, like, there may be a particular theme in one that's appealing to you. You may like the price better. You may like oh, that's so sad right there. Yes. Oh my gosh. She is. Anyway, this way you can figure out fully which one or ones you would prefer to invest in. I don't know if this will pick her up. She's doing her myrrh. She's pulling it around. She really wants me to give her treats and acknowledge that she has. She doesn't like. She's so weird with toys. That is cute. She's so weird with toys. I love where they're like painting the moon, and I loved like when they were throwing tomatoes at the moon, like the paw readings. Oh my gosh, y'all. Like there's some really unique, I feel like, pictures in this one. Shay Undertaker. Was that supposed to say kitchen? And to be fair, again, I don't know who does the art for Colored Caramel. I don't know who does the art for Tiny Daisy. Um, I did make exceptions to those. Like I said, I've really tried to stay away from books that don't have the actual artist on them. But I made exceptions for these, and they are super cute. Like, look, y'all, just, oh, so cute. All right, and so here was the book I got with like a 20% discount, the digital version. I have all the Amazon and digital links on the description. I'm going to try to start doing that because, again, I am trying to not buy as many Amazon printed books, and like I have many reasons. I still want to support the artist on there though, and sometimes an Amazon book is all you can get because you don't have a printer or you don't mind the Amazon paper. I mean, there's dozens of reasons. So I don't want to just not post those links and take away from the artist because they need everything, need all the hype they can get on the different platforms. So this is Spooky Dreams. Spooky cats, spooky dreams, and then there'll be cute spookies. There's a theme here, as you can see, and more than likely you're not going to need all three of these books. Oh my gosh. More of the pattern type things. And then, I don't know the dream aspect of these, the kind of bubbly way that they're drawn, like the ghosts and even the. That is so cute. Um, the ghosts and like the little creatures. I don't know. I really like this style. Some of these animals, like that could be a bear, that could be a panda. Is a panda a bear? I guess panda's a bear. This could be really anything you want it to be. Oh, the little stuffy. Oh my gosh. So cute. Might be a little more white space here where, you can add in your own textures to like the bushes. You could add in like something here if you wanted. A little more white space in here if you like to add in more patterns and textures than like the Tiny Daisy book. Again, nothing wrong with that. Like here, I would want to play with a water pattern just to add a little texture to this. But you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. I'm so confused. What is happening here? So I know they're like in the graveyard and it's like this spooky, ooh, I'm so scared going through the graveyard. But are like these gravestones on clouds? Or is this like a hill? This might be a hill. I don't know. I could make them like clouds and you could have little tombstones on clouds. You can have it any way you want it, I guess. The little board. And the little ghost coming in like, oh, okay, which one of us is he inviting in? These are stinking cute. One thing too, I do want to do a video that like talks about things I wish I'd known when I started coloring, or like tips and tricks I've learned in coloring. And one of the things I've really learned is that your tastes change a lot. Like if you really do color for like years or over time, your taste in coloring will change. You may look at something and go, oh, I would never color that. And then in a couple of years, you're like, actually, now that's all I want to color. And like I said, last year I wasn't as big on the cute and cozy. This year I'm a little more okay with it. I still like my other books and my other artists that don't do as much in this genre. I do think, there should be some more variety. I think this trend has moved a lot of artists to try to shift to this trend, which again, hey, make your money, get that bag, like if that's what people want, I completely get it. But I like other books too. But like I said, I think I've been a little more open to these over the past year. And look, I mean, it's just, we're at page number 36, y'all. Like, again, the days of getting 20 something images per book, you don't get that as much anymore. Unless it's like a Meowlloween deck or somebody that sells like little digital books. They might have like 12 to 20 pages, but they put a lot of time into those images. Some of it might just be drawing this image. Still takes time, but maybe not to the level of detail that some of the other artists do. So I guess one of the benefits of the simplistic imagery is you can draw a whole lot more in that span of time. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that any of these are AI. I get no indication that they're AI. That is not the reason I stay away from, well, part of the reason is I can't say that with 100% confidence. I love that picture, by the way. But in looking at these, I don't get the sense at all that they're AI. I just think they have contracted artists and we don't know who the actual artists are. And I hate that. I also find that publishing groups can print this and then it's more likely to be taken away if they move towards another. That is so cute. That would be such. My husband and I have a dating anniversary in February. I got distracted. And then our wedding anniversary is in May. This would be a super cute picture to do for that. And this is another one you could kind of do year round, Anyway, so cute. I say all that to say that we'll go through the last one here. Cute Spookies. I know, I didn't need I needed maybe one of these books. And I know some of you are like, but you'll have them. You'll have them if you want to color more Halloween this year, or if you want to color more Halloween next Halloween. But see, then there's more books that will come out next Halloween, and that's where they get you. Like, if I don't have time to color in these now or anytime in the next year, then those, because let me tell you, all the Alexandra Franzese Halloween books I have, the Joshua Dunbar Halloween books I have, all the other Halloween books I bought in years past are also sitting there for me to color in. So don't fall in that trap now. Or fall in that trap. I mean, I ain't gonna tell you how to spend your money. Cute Spookies. Um, Oh gosh, I don't think Colored Caramel gets as much attention as some of the other publishers, and I think that's a shame because I do think they have books that are definitely up there with some of the others. There's more of the pattern pages, or trying out different things. Which, if you're using the digital version, of course, then you can print out as many of these to your heart's content that you would like. That's so cute. That would be a good anniversary picture. Okay. I really like spooky year round. That's why my project book is Halloween All Year Round by Deborah Muller. And like Deborah Muller hasn't really I love her style, and while her stuff is cute and she has some books that are cute, she's she has a style and she has a genre, and would love to see her try new things because she has, but I also love her style too, and so I love that she stays true to her self, and true to what she wants to do. I appreciate that, and I've had to I've had to slow down buying her books just because it's book in, book out now, and I just can't get them all. I can't get them all, y'all. The beauty is that these will last years and years, but then more and more books will come out. So, anyway, I have found some of the books that I got that were Amazon published by some publishing companies in the past. When they moved to the cute and cozy genre, they have taken down all their old books. Some of them won't even let you post completed pages from their old books on their Facebook groups. And I've unfollowed them. I'm not buying any more books from them. I don't understand why you've got to act like you didn't. People loved your old style too. There's people that love the new style, but they love the old style too. So I don't understand why you can't just keep them all. And if it's a contract reason, then you're not doing right by your artist anyway. And but again, sorry, that is a rant for another day. So that's, kind of the reasoning why I try to stay away from them. Most of the independent artists I know, if they take down a past book, they have a reason for it. Like a very specific reason. And they always encourage, you to color in any of their books, past or present. So, like I said, unless there have been a couple exceptions to that rule. What is happening there? I guess he's trying to go after the pumpkin. He's either saving the pumpkin or he's terrified that he's coming after him with a knife. And they just look so happy, they're just vibing, oh, he's trying to murder the pumpkin, and or I don't know. Can you murder a ghost? Because he's a ghost with bat wings. I don't know. Um, I love some of the stories I see happening in these. Anyway, that's kind of my back and forth on published groups. Like, I feel like they tend to yank older books more often, make them inaccessible. The couple exceptions the couple ones I spoke to have left a bad taste in my mouth for published. Plus, again, if you don't know the actual artist, they could use AI. They could be contracting through inexpensive, doing an inexpensive contract that's not really fair to the person that's doing the drawing, the artist behind it. Like, you don't know, who knows what their setup is like. So, but I haven't heard anything controversial about any of the ones I spoke to today, and I do appreciate that Steph Mortimer shows that like she's behind Sunray books, kind of like with Worley Art Studios. I appreciate the ones that go on Instagram and stuff and show like the artist behind the books. That makes me trust them more, even if it's under like a publishing name. These are so cute, y'all. And that's the thing. I could just color in these books for a month and probably be happy. Oh, that's so cute. But like I said, of all the ones I've picked up today, I've not heard anything controversial about Colored Caramel, about Tiny Daisy, or about Sunray books. They all seem on the up and up. And that's the reason why I purchased from them. So, I'm not going to name names on the ones I was talking not so great about, but there are a lot, and that's the thing, there are a lot of these books out there. There's a lot of new publishing groups or new. And that's one thing too I don't like, where they put like it's supposed to be like a person's name, but you don't know if it's an actual name or if it's just a brand they're using. Like, I don't like that either. Um, Sometimes it's really hard to tell. Like, is there, like the actual artist behind the book and stuff? Like, sometimes it's hard to tell. I appreciate the ones, again, that go on social media and do that. That would have been a good one for Space Timber. Yeah, like I said, I think the time, and I'm not saying that's the case of all Tiny Daisy books, but the Tiny Daisy book doesn't have as much white space in the images, but like Colored Caramel has a little bit more if you really like adding in textures and backgrounds and things like that. That might be more your style. Isn't that so cool? I love that picture. Love it. Anyway, so yeah, I made exceptions here. And I'm happy with them by far. I am not in any way, shape, or form disappointed with these. I got to figure out what books to get rid of. Probably some color by number books. I really haven't been doing much color by number lately. But they're all cute books. Like I said, I wanted to just make you aware of some of the deals out there. All these can be found on Amazon. All four of these have digital versions as well. And yeah, so there you go. This was probably a pretty long one, but I guess I had a number of books to show you. And if you have any questions on anything, let me know in the comments. That being said, I guess at the end of the day, like any of the comments I say about, just keep in mind, like, it's all my opinion. I may not do cute and cozy pages as much as other people do, but that doesn't mean I don't love every single one I see on Instagram. I love seeing other people color, and it doesn't matter. Like, I have my own issues with AI images, but there are some people that don't mind AI books and they color pages and they look really nice. And they're coloring, they're enjoying themselves. It's their money to spend, so I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to play judgment on anybody that buys books that I consider controversial because I have my own hangups about it, but I'm not going to tell anybody else how to spend their money. I'm just saying why you won't see me have it. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're coloring and you're enjoying yourself and I will like your page on Instagram if you're on my friends list, and it happens to show up in the algorithm, which can be hard these days. Like, I still love when people color, and I still love people, being creative and enjoying themselves. And at the end of the day, that's all this is. I feel like everybody wants to gatekeep everybody's hobbies these days, and I could do a whole color and chat on it, and I probably will. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell anybody else how to spend their money, that they're spending too much money, that they're not getting the right things, that they're not coloring right. Like, all that stuff is garbage. Hot, hot garbage. Anybody that's telling you something like that, just click. They're doing it to rage bait. They're doing it to gaslight. They're doing it to get a lot of views, or they're just a judgmental snot. So at the end of the day, I try to provide information and I have my own opinions, but at the end of the day, I just want people to have a hobby that they can enjoy and disconnect for a while from the hot mess that is currently the world. And I get so mad when anybody tries to make a judgment call on anything people do. Though I guess there are exceptions to that rule as well, but they're few and far between. Anyway, okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Completed pages and plans for October will air on will come up Monday. I want to go ahead and get a jump on October because there's going to be a lot going on. And next weekend I'm going to have a supply haul. It's going to be this weekend, but things got in the way. Other than that, I hope everybody's doing well. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.